What's going on, guys? I'm really excited to do this review because this has got to be the best bang for your buck knife out there, and that's really saying a lot. I would honestly put this in the top 10 best small EDC knives that I've ever handled in my life, and you're talking thousands and thousands of knives, and that's no joke. I've handled lots and lots of knives. I haven't owned them all. Only got to use maybe a couple thousand of them, but I've probably had 20 or 30,000 knives go through my hands since I started getting into knives 20 years ago. So that is saying a lot. This knife offers so much for the money. And of course, every single person out there is looking for a good value, especially in, their gear and their tools and their knives and guns and all kinds of stuff like that. You want to get the best bang for your buck, obviously, right? And then, separate from that, there's collectors that they'll spend a little extra money to get something cool or something limited, or the prestigious knives that are out there, the kind of, more expensive ones that most of us don't ever even get to look at, never mind, handle and use. But, for the average Joe, this knife is probably the best, if not one of the best values for under $100 bucks. All right, so I'm gonna start off by talking about price. You obviously read the title, so you know the knife. It is a Spyderco Dragonfly. This particular one is a Foliage G-10 model. Super, super cool. It's amazing. It really is an amazing knife. But I want to talk about price first and where I got this. I got this from a company called Knife Hog. It's knifehog.com. I mentioned them before. I did a review on the Benchmade. There's a Nakamura design. That also came from Knife Hog. And the third knife I got from them was the H&K, which I'm still using. You guys will see a review. I did a little sneak peek or preview in that beer unboxing. But haven't used that enough. I've been carrying a lot lately, but I gotta get more use on it before I do a review. But you can stay tuned. I definitely will do a review on that in the future. But anyway, the reason I went with this company is because I was exposed to this company probably late January of this year, 2014. I had a viewer mention it, that I should check it out. It's a cool new company, kind of up and coming thing. I checked it out. The prices were okay. It wasn't that bad. I got a Cold Steel from them and an Emerson from them months and months and months ago. In fact, the Horseman came from them originally. And I wanted to try them out again because I was looking for this very specific knife, and I did some price comparisons, and they were the cheapest of anything. Their price was $82.85, and they have free shipping on their site. Compared to eBay, I found one on eBay for like $89. Walmart's website sold this exact knife, $88. So they beat out Walmart price. Amazon came very close. It's like 83 to 85, but of course there's shipping depending on what vendor or seller you're using on there. Blade HQ, awesome company, but theirs was like $96, $97. So they beat out everyone in price on this very knife. And as I mentioned in the other video, I was able to talk to the owner of the site, and it was really cool. They were able to give me a discount code for you guys. So if you're interested in going to the site, the first time you buy something from them, it's 5% off. So at the end of the day, if you haven't ordered anything from them yet, you would get this knife, if you're interested in it, for $78.70, all right, shipped. And that is the best price you're gonna find across the entire internet. Regardless of whether you get it from them or not, I highly, highly recommend this knife. This knife, people ask me all the time, what's the best knife I can get? There's no good answer to that because there's hundreds, if not thousands, of just really good knives that are gonna work great for people. But there's a lot to consider when you're looking to get a new knife, okay? The first thing we all do is we go by the aesthetics. How does it look? Obviously you want a knife that's gonna look cool to you, everyone's looking for something different. Some people looking for something that's classy, some people looking for something that's aggressive and tactical looking. Whatever your thing is, that dictates what kind of knives you look at. Now, once you find a knife you like the look of, then you have to consider price. Price is always an issue, no matter what, okay? Not everyone can go out and spend $1,000 on a knife, obviously. Some people can't even spend $100 on a knife. Some people can't even spend $50 on a knife. So you're with price, you're very limited as to what you can purchase, right? Obviously. But as I've said before in past videos and in conversation stuff, I would say that once you get past $50, but still less than $100, like between $50 and $100, there's countless really, really good knives out there, okay, that are available to you. But it's really, really hard picking one. And I constantly get this message from people all the time, you know, I don't know what to get, Jeff. What should I get? Which one? And it's so hard because there's so many good ones. And by recommending one specific one, I'm limiting that person to just that knife. And they may not be exposed to other things that they might like even more. So anyway, I'm babbling on here, but my point is that I would say this is the best buy of 2014. The Spyderco Dragonflies have always been very cool, but I've never owned one long enough to really use it like I have this one. And I have to say I am a huge fan of this knife. I've always liked Spyderco knives as well as many different companies. I've always been a fan of their Delicas. I love their wave Delicas. Their full flat ground Delica and Enduras are awesome. But this knife takes the cake. It beats all of them out. Just for the size, the fit and finish, just the quality of this knife, the performance of this knife. This is sporting VG10 as a lot of their knives do. It's a great performing steel. The overall package is small, it's lightweight, it's only 2 ounces. All right, I'll go over specs in a second here because I also have some international specs, you know, not just for the US viewers, but anyway, this is the full package. So if you guys are, you know, in the market for a $50 to $100 knife, all right, this is the one to get. If you have not tried the Spyderco Dragonfly, any variation, not just the G10, but any variation on it, you owe it to yourself as a knife person to check it out. It is definitely one of the coolest EDC blades out there, period, bar none. And there's a lot of good ones. So anyway, let's go over some specs real quick. The blade on this, obviously you can see it's that classic Spyderco leaf-shaped blade. There is a full swedge starting from the spine all the way to the tip, kind of tapers down almost to nothing. Full flat ground blade, which is very nice on this. 2.25 inches, again, VG10 stainless. 57 millimeters is what that is in length if you're not a US viewer. I'm trying to keep this up to date and you know, give those specs to people who are interested, because not everyone, you know, uses inches, and I get that. We're a very small part of the world. But anyway, the closed length on this is 3.18 inches or 81 millimeters. And fully opened, it is 5.5 inches or 140 millimeters from tip to butt. And again, 2 ounces or 56 grams. This does have a lockback, all right? It's a mid lockback. It does have the opening hole. What they did with the newer versions here is they changed the placement of the opening hole in accordance to the pivot. All right, so it's more user-friendly. I've used the old ones. I haven't found this to be like an incredible difference. Like, oh my God, this is so much easier to open. They're all easy to open. But this one, you know, I guess it's just a little bit more smooth. I'd have to have an old one next to it to really compare. But that was the adjustment they made with these new ones, is the exact positioning between the opening hole and the pivot does make a difference as far as, you know, how the hand works and fingers and stuff like that. It's very fluent, very easy to open. Nice little half finger choil on the top of the knife here, as a lot of Spydercos do, and there's some jimping on the base of the ricasso underneath where the blade sharpened. So basically it forms a full finger choil, okay? In addition, we also have the jimping on the back here and a thumb ramp. So like a lot of their models, your pointer finger goes up here and your thumb goes back here, and it just locks in. Not only does it lock in, but you're right up there on the blade. You can see it's very close to your finger. I've never had an issue with any model that was close to this, you know, in design, slipping. That may be a concern. Like, oh my God, that blade is right there. Wouldn't you cut yourself? No, you won't. There's an incredible amount of grip on this, especially this one, the G10 on here. It's like a smooth sandpaper. Very nice grip on this. It's not overly grippy. It's not uncomfortable. It's perfect for G10, in my opinion. You don't have to choke up on it, although most times in cutting you naturally want to grab it like that. You could hold it back here if you wanted to. It's not a problem. Also, because of this tapering on that swedge, it's very comfortable to throw a pointer finger up here to kind of get more control for the smaller cuts. If you're getting in and you know, you're just using the tip, as I often do when I'm opening boxes. All right, I don't want to just necessarily grab a knife like this to cut into a box, because I'm not limiting how much of that blade's going in. If I have something that's paper, if I'm doing an unboxing or open up new knives or whatever I'm doing, I don't want to cut the contents of the box, okay? So by putting your pointer finger on here, it actually creates a stop point, so you can control how much of that blade is going in your box. So it's like tip ripping. Basically, put your finger on here, you're only exposing 1/4 inch of that blade. You can puncture all the way down to your finger, and then, you know, slice the box open that way, and it ensures you're not going to cut into the contents of the package. All right, so it's a good technique for cutting open boxes anyway. What I really, really like about this one is that even though it's small, it is very, very strong. It does have full stainless liners on this, okay? Take a peek in there, you can see those. It is a fully enclosed design, okay? I do usually like the pillar knife or open frame designs, but no problem with this because it's fully enclosed. You know, you could blow some air out of there. It will collect some lint and dust and stuff like that. Be aware of that. Just like, you know, carrying a gun around every day, you have to maintain, you know, your tools and in case of guns, weapons. And it will gather lint and dust and grime and stuff like that. So you have to just clean them out. Obviously, you could take this all the way down for cleaning if you need to. It's very easy to put back together. Okay, again, very small detail, but super classy is when they have the hardware reversed. And what I mean by that is that the right side of the knife is usually the presentation side, simply because of the fact there's more righties than lefties. So what they did is they reversed the hardware so the female parts of the screws, or just the round parts, are facing on the presentation side. It just looks nice. It's a cleaner look, okay? If you need to access those heads, you can do so on the back. Perfect lockup. I mean, super crisp, super strong, no blade play at all in any direction. It just feels very confident. It's a very positive lockup. Overall, just a very solid feeling knife, especially with these G10 scales. It does have a lanyard hole, okay, reinforced with that tubing, stainless tube, and it does have a wire clip. All right, as you can see, if you flip this over, the clip is swappable for left or right hand carry. Obviously, it's ambidextrous because of the opening hole, but it is set up for tip up, which most people prefer these days anyway. This knife is all that and a bag of chips. It really is just a very capable small blade. It's lightweight, but it's strong. It's really strong. I think it's really sexy looking. Comes super sharp, stays super sharp. The VG10 is an awesome performing steel. It's just everything you want in a little knife. It's ergonomic, it's strong, it's sharp. You know, it's quality. It screams quality. And I'm not a fan of every Spyderco knife, but this one is probably my favorite. After really handling it, using it, you know, owning it, abusing it, stuff like that. I mean, I'm not going out of my way to pry things or anything like that. I'm not trying to abuse a blade, but what I mean by that is that sometimes when I have knives on loan that I get to play with, I don't review them because they're not mine to actually use hard, damaging them. So I'm exposed to a lot of knives that you don't see reviews on, simply because they're on loan, you know. Occasionally I'll get the okay from someone is, hey, you know, check it out, do what you gotta do. I'd love to see a review on it. That's different. Then I can take it to the next level and not worry about using it. But you know, after actually owning this and testing it out, I feel bad because I got this for Christina, you know, so it could be a new EDC, but I really wanted to review it. When I first got it opened up, I was immediately impressed. I was like, oh man, this thing is really nice. I know I'm gonna want to do a review on it, and she gave me the okay to, you know, carry it around and use it and stuff, and I'm so glad I did. And I'm happy that she's gonna have a really top-notch knife. Like I said, she was using a Benchmade 707 sequel, which I was a fan of, huge fan still. I own one, she owns one, but that's going in the EDC drawer so she can start carrying this. Just what a beautiful knife. So highly recommend it. By far my favorite knife of 2014. So super cool. You guys owe it to yourself to check that out. This specific setup is that model. It's a C28G-PFG. Again, that's the foliage green version. Obviously, there's a bunch of versions. After really using this one, I could say that pretty much any of the Dragonflies are gonna be cool. There's a lot of flavors. There's an all stainless steel one. Of course, that'll be more heavy. But, you know, especially if you want something a little bit more extravagant, you know, maybe something for the wife or girlfriend. They have I think it's called the tattoo version. It's got like a rainbow dragonfly, you know, on the actual scale itself. So it's a little more artsy looking, a little bit fancier, you know. But this is just what an awesome knife, and what a pleasure to actually, you know, carry around and use it. So super cool. That's it. That's my review of the Spyderco Dragonfly, the new one with that foliage green G10. Just one of my favorite knives. It's perfect. The one thing I'll say is that I'm a huge fan of wire clips. Some people love them, some people hate them. I'm definitely the guy that loves these. They slip in and out of the pocket perfectly. There's never resistance, even with a rougher scale like this. Never had any issues, you know, snagging on the pocket or anything, but they're still crisp. They still have a nice tension on the pocket, so it doesn't feel like you're gonna lose it. I love wire clips. I wish I can have a Spyderco wire clip on every knife I've ever had. Huge fan of it. Their big selling point with the wire clips is that it's also a good money clip. I would highly agree. If you're one of those people that carry some folded bills in your knife clip, your EDC knife as your money clip, because there's no cooler money clip than a knife, right? So that is pretty much it, guys. If you're in the market for a smaller EDC blade, this is the one to get. Again, you know, pick your choice of color, or, you know, whatever variant you like the most, but just, it's a sure thing. It is a really, really fine knife. So thanks for watching. Always appreciate your time. Stay tuned. I have some more knives to review very soon. But in the meantime, I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your day, and I will see you soon. Take care.